I don't have your numbers here because I wanted to call you a bunch of times. I was the first full-time professional gamer when I was 18 years old. I decided to make a living out of traveling around the world playing video game tournaments, and no one else was doing it. So, I quit school, I quit work to pursue it. I was just in my first semester of college. I was working part-time at a private golf course, and I ended up had $500, came to Dallas when I was 18. I won $4 grand, and next thing you know it, I was traveling around the world playing video games. And from there on out, for the next 8 or 9 years, I really just dominated the world, traveling around the world, playing my first-person shooters, beating the best gamers in the world in a lot of different games, and till today, I'm the highest-paid professional gamer in the world.
In 1999, was it a case of you having put in more work than everybody, and everybody kind of had to catch up, or is it something unique in you?
Well, everyone was already doing it before me, and people were better than me when I started, for sure. It was more or less than me catching up and then taking it to the next level. And I did that in a lot of different ways, not only by training, but also by being physically fit. I ran 2-3 miles every day. I worked on my nutrition because I thought in tournaments, day 3 of a tournament, people get wearing down. They're getting tired. They're getting exhausted. So at that point, that's when I excel and I'm getting on fire. But also, it's a lot of just, being able to perform under pressure. I've always dreamed of those situations as a kid, just like a lot of athletes have in professional sports, and I was able to come up clutch many times, and everyone's seen me do it, I guess, over the years, and I've had a lot of great comebacks and a lot of great just straight up victories. So for me, it's just it's my passion, and I love it, and it was just something I did. I really love winning, so. I'll do whatever it takes to win.
When people talk about you, they say the highest paid as far as tournament winnings, competitive gamer, esports gamer in the history of competitive gaming. Does that seem kind of odd to think of yourself in that way?
Well, it's just I was just trying to do more than everyone else at all times. So it was kind of just me trying to set the bar as high as possible. And I got a lot of good advice when I was young from a lot of different gamers and business people, and they, the gamers advised me about the stuff I knew in the games. Don't tell no one, So I kept a lot of stuff secret for a long time, just secrets that made me maybe a 2 or 5% edge over my opponent, and I would abuse that as much as I could. If the gamer caught up with me and learned my tricks, okay, now we're on an even playing field. Now how do I beat him again? So then I had to think of more strategies. So I'm constantly trying to beat my opponent, and that's what I did through my whole career. You got to study people's videos of them playing, find out where their weaknesses are. Are they irritated by slow play? Are they irritated by fast play? Are they irritated by strategy? And you got to be able to flip a switch and go to that strategy at any given moment. So that's kind of what I did through my whole career, was able to kind of get underneath everyone's skin in some form or fashion in the virtual world and take advantage of that.
Now, in today's ecosystem, you have your Twitch streams, and you have people that are watching people practice and train and glean as much information and experience as they can by viewing it. As you say, that's one of your favorite tools. Has the game changed a little bit? You talked about how you used to kind of hoard some of those top-tier tactics.
Yeah, I mean, today, with streaming and everything else, a lot of stuff is like out there for view, and people are definitely going to tune in to watch any high-level pro matches because at that point they have to play their best, and that's when you get the most information because you learn all their small tactics that they're doing that are making them that 1%, 2% better than the other guys. So when you can see that and learn from that, it makes it quicker to get up on their level. For me, throughout my whole career, I always kept all my demos very secret. In training, I only played on LAN. I used to have like 4 or 5 guys that came to my house and trained, and they were sworn to secrecy. If they ever told anyone about how I played or what the deal was, they would be no longer allowed back at my training camp. For them, it was a privilege to be at my training camp because I will teach you as much as you can take. You'll never learn as much as me because I'm always setting the bar. But I knew that I knew who I picked. I knew that I was not at risk of of giving too much away to these guys. But I knew I could get them to the top 8 in the world. So I knew I could get them to so far, but I always kept I had more determination and probably faster hand-eye coordination, and I approached it a lot different than they did. So I think just health-wise and reflexes, and just maybe just natural ability, I was just better. But they got the best training they could possibly ever get with me.
So we've kind of already hovered over the topic of how things have changed from then to now. But in your opinion, your general opinion, what's different now that what didn't exist back then, or what have we lost from back then that you lament?
Well, back in the day, it was obviously my first part of my career. I mean, first-person shooters. There's tons of money up for grab all the time. Now today, you're seeing that shift to like games like MOBA games, like League of Legends, Dota 2, and like StarCraft. So those are the big money games today. So for a lot of the first-person shooter gamers, they're hustling to make a buck anymore. And it's very hard. We're probably in one of the most dominated genres out there, where in the sense skill is really viewable. You can see it. Like there's so much skill there. How could you ever compete? It's like when you watch a tennis player like Federer play. How can you ever score a point against a guy, let alone a game? And that's what it's like playing a lot of these pros in Quake or in any other FPS game. So the differences for the gamer, there's back when I played, it was me running out of my socks at a tournament, when I was 18. I mean, obviously I started wearing shoes eventually to the events, but yeah, it was much more relaxed back then, I thought. But it was a lot of fun, very competitive, and the sponsorships were there if you could find them, if you can get them. But I was kind of setting the bar back then. No, it didn't exist. Being a professional gamer didn't exist. People weren't getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to be sponsored. None of that stuff existed. Now today, gamers are getting paid travel, hotel, food. They're getting paid cash on top of that monthly. They are also making money from streaming if they get enough fan base to stream and make some money on the side doing that. Some guys are making really good money doing that. There's more teams. There's teams, organizations that exist that help a lot of this stuff be a lot smoother. For me, I've always been kind of a lone wolf. I played on teams. We were undefeated. I did all the team stuff, but like 1v1 was where all the money was, and that's how I got to where I am as being the highest paid video gamer. Is just, I won a lot of individual events, and I won 150 grand in one weekend one time. So the money was there up for grabs, and as an individual, I just took it every time, and I didn't, not like I had to pay anyone. I didn't pay a manager or anything, because all of the stuff I did was self-made. I put my own money into it. I won my own money. I managed my own money. I created a company, Fatal1ty gaming gear, around it. I was able to make and sell products, and from that, I was able to sponsor gamers, host events. And even before this event, I was able to host a pre-QuakeCon tournament to help these guys train and get ready for this. And on top of that, I gave them a little spending money to get them here and to do whatever they want to with it. So for me, it's been a lot of fun and just a lot of self-motivation, and just I love esports and I love seeing it grow, and that's, I guess, why I got the ambassador title of gaming, because there's no suits, there's no VC money. It's just me and trying to do most I can for esports and make it grow.
The pre-Quake tournament, right, and helping people warm up and get ready for this. You talk about how it's really out of the kindness of your heart because you enjoy it and you love it. What does that do to the Quake community in general, if you think that has any kind of impact at all?
Well, I think, in the Quake community, you have really the hardcore of the community. I mean, it's the community that's been there since day one. I mean, if you look back in esports history, or even like first-person shooter history, online gaming history, Quake was there at day one. It used to be 2,000 guys that would play Quake on the internet, and we had our niche little group back in 1996, and we played every day together, and all of us trying to move up the ladders, move the rank, whatever deal was. But it wasn't, until about 2000 when really online gaming exploded. So for about a good 4 years, we were in our own little world, and we were so excited. You have no idea. I mean, we were on cloud nine every day, all day. it would never end because the amount of excitement and adrenaline that's pumping through your veins to shoot someone in another state from your home in your basement or on your computer was amazing.
Other first-person shooters like Call of Duties and your Halos that are getting a lot of money thrown at them. What's your take on that, and what does it mean, or what does it say about the game or the franchise that if there weren't those tournaments, those games might die, or that scene might die? Like, the Halo scene might die if 343 wasn't throwing a ton of money at it right now. Is that a valid argument, or am I maybe being naive about it?
Okay, so we'll start off first, like doing the pre-QuakeCon tournaments. Giving back to the community is a big part of like who I am as a person, as a gamer, and just what I want to do. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years now, sponsoring tournaments, sponsoring players, traveling them, giving them money in some form or fashion, giving them product. It's just something it was like, I have to do this from day one. It was never like a question like, oh, I need to, it was like I made my first 50 grand selling mouse pads. I turned around and sponsored 5 guys to fly around, travel with me to play Counter-Strike, So for me, it's always been about giving back always and helping esports grow. As for, games like, Call of Duty or Halo, you talk about those type of games, those games are much more simplistic than the Quake. These arena shooters have such deep level skill, mainly due to like the health the player has. In a sense, like there's actually a story to the fight. And a game like Call of Duty or Halo has a little bit of a story, but because it's a little bit of a fight, but it's on console, so it's on a inferior controller to a mouse. Because if you got one of us with a mouse and Halo on a console, we would shoot 100% all the time. Like if we missed one, it would be like a huge failure. That's just like because how fast the game is. For people throwing a lot of money at those games, yeah, I mean they make money. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is business, and it's kind of sad because games like Quake are out there, and Quake's an amazing game, and games like Quake are an amazing game. If any arena shooter, like you go through my list of championships I've won, even Painkiller was the most amazing 1v1 dual match deathmatch game out there. I mean, it was awesome. I even did a pro match this last month in Taiwan just to showcase that these shooter games, these arena shooters are awesome. They're exciting, they're fast. People that watch them like, man, it's just so fast. Like how could I ever play this game? And that's what's so cool. It's like when you watch a professional athlete play a game, play a sport, you're like, how am I ever going to hit a home run 400 feet? It's never going to happen. Or how am I ever going to slam dunk a ball over this guy? It's never going to happen. It's like that's the skill sets that we possess in this games of Quake and arena shooter type games. So, like I said, it comes down to a lot to actually down to business. How everyone can make money off this, and that's kind of the sad part, but it's the real part. It's just how the world works, and not everyone can do everything for fun all day, every day. But for me, Quake is a passion, so I'm going to do it no matter what. I don't care. Me doing my pre-QuakeCon tournaments before these QuakeCon events every year is definitely something I love doing and will continue to do. And you were talking about throwing money at the games and so forth. I mean, these games are making so much money. They should definitely set aside just 1% of that revenue to the professional gamers in that game. That would build so much more excitement over these games. To be a professional at anything, you have to be able to make a career by making an income and so forth and doing it. So for a lot of these guys playing Quake right now, this is just a side hobby for them. They love doing it. It's a passion for them like it is for me, and we do it because we just love it. So but the thing is, you have the best guys in the world here doing it, and it's really a lot of fun. And I think if people saw the game and got more into the detail of how amazing these games are, I think they would really attach to it.
The idea of how do you bring in new blood? Quake is a really old game. You have a lot of OGs playing it. Faceit doing a good job now and kind of promoting the game, but what do you think needs to happen?
Well, Quake Live has been around for a long time. Well, Quake Live is kind of new. I mean, it's not that old, but but Quake 1 came out in 96, Quake 2 came out in 97, Quake 3, 99, and Quake Live is basically a remake of Quake 3, polished in certain areas and so forth and so on. I mean, it's a web-based game. Everyone can play it. You just log on to QuakeLive.com and you're there. What I would like to see is, you know, a launch of a new title, a launch of a season, a tour going to revolve around that game for at least 2 years. So you give all the pro gamers a chance, like, hey, for 2 years we're guaranteed we can make this much, we can go for something. And you build up that excitement around that game, and that 2 years exists. And then if that game keeps succeeding, keep doing it. But if you need to make money, because the developer needs to make new money again and relaunch, and that's what Call of Duty and all these guys are doing. They're just relaunching the game. It's the same engine. All they did is redid the graphics, redid the storyline a little bit, and then voila, and redid the maps, and there you got a new game. So I think that's the thing. It's like, I mean, you have to launch a title with the emphasis that, hey, we're going to have a season, a tour around this. League of Legends is doing a great job showing the model of how it can be done and how professional it can be and getting the excitement around it. I mean, Quake 3, that's when they launched that game. Quake 3 launched the game. It's like, hey, we are focused on multiplayer. Multiplayer is why we're doing this. And League of Legends came out doing the same thing. It's like, hey, this is multiplayer. We're competition. This is what it's all about. And Quake 3 started my career and started basically professional gaming as a career. I mean, I lived it and did it. League of Legends now is doing the same thing. Hey, this is a game you can play as an esport, and you can go and live it, make money, and go do it. So that's what we need. Is we need another arena shooter to come up and be a big spotlight for a tour and having guaranteed money up for grabs, and getting all these people involved. And we gotta cater to all levels of gamers too. We can't just cater to the high end. We need to have different leagues. We need to have a low, mid, and high range so we can allow people to get in, and they have to be fairly separated. You look at tennis. Tennis has 2.5, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, so on and so on. And it's really cool that these games have that ranking kind of system, and it would be cool to have that in professional gaming and esports as well. I'm sponsoring right now an amateur League of Legends sponsored with Mobile Fire Challenger Series. So we're doing a thing for the amateur gamers that aren't pro, but they want to achieve the be pro. So it's all about helping the amateurs out becoming pro. And I think that's where I kind of ring in the most, in the sense the pre-QuakeCon tournament is like helping everyone get ready for it and do their best. Obviously the pros are still there training as well to do their best because they want to stay at top. But in the League of Legends, for example, the Mobile Fire Challenger Series that we're sponsoring, it's helping those amateur gamers have a chance to go play in the League of Legends Champion Series. So, it's for me, it's really exciting helping the amateur scene try to help improve their game and so forth. And like I said, it'd be great to see a new FPS arena shooter game come out and having some guarantee money around it. And that builds excitement for the community and gets a lot of people interested and a lot of people addicted very fast.
What are the things you're working on right now?
Well, I've been working on my Fatal1ty gaming gear brand for well over 10 years now. We're launching new motherboards, power supply units. Basically, the whole goal with Fatal1ty is when you think of Nike, you think of sporting goods. When you think of Fatal1ty, you think gaming goods. So I built the brand back in 2002, selling mouse pads, and from there on out, we make really good headphones, Fatal1ty gaming headphones from Creative Labs, and with ASRock we make motherboards, and with OC Technology we make power supply units. And I'm always looking for new manufacturers to work with to make more products. My goal is to make the best products for gamers to improve their game experience of playing the game, enjoying the game, enjoying the graphics, enjoying the smoothness of the game, but also increase their performance. If I can help them gain, they're 5% more accurate, or in anything, they're 5% more responsive. I want to give them those tools so they can play to their fullest peak. And when they do this, it'll make them a better gamer, and they'll start winning more, and they'll be happy.
Fatal1ty, any final thoughts for aspiring pro gamers?
It's for aspiring pro gamers. You need to play online as much as you can. Play in any tournaments you can find, free or for money. They're out there. They exist. You just gotta stay. You gotta have your finger on the heartbeat of the esports community, and I started by going to LAN parties a bunch in my hometown in Kansas City. So, getting your friends, playing, being in the same room together. Of course, it's great to be with your headphones on and with your microphone in your basement or wherever you are. But when you get together as individuals together, hanging out on the weekends, playing games, and doing it just like you would for a basketball game or a football game or anything else, you need to have that human touch. And that will take you to the next level. It's not all about being by yourself in your gaming room by yourself playing games. You need to be with your friends, and you'll learn 10 times more with a person talking one-on-one than you will talking even on Skype, because it's just how it's done, and I've lived it, I've done it. I'm saving you a ton of time. Go to LAN parties, go to events like QuakeCon. You'll learn so much, and it's a great experience, tons of fun, and you won't regret it.